The Battle of Angels. I repeat, the Battle of Angels. The book of Daniel has a specific example of spiritual warfare that casts further light on the location of Satan's kingdom. In fact, it describes a battle of angels. In chapter 10, Daniel describes how he set himself to pray and to seek God for a revelation concerning the future of his people Israel. For 3 weeks, he devoted himself with special intensity to prayer, and waiting on God. At the end of the 3 weeks, an angel from heaven came to Daniel with the answer to his prayer. The angel was so glorious and powerful that all the people with Daniel were scattered, and he was the only one who remained to receive the revelation. That's Daniel 10, verses 2 to 6. Now 2 states, "In those days, I, Daniel, had been mourning for 3 entire weeks." Verse 3, "I did not eat any tasty food, nor did meat or wine enter my mouth, nor did I use any ointment at all, until the entire 3 weeks were completed." And verse 4, "And on the 24th day of the first month, while I was by the bank of the great river, that is the Tigris." 5, "I lifted up my eyes, and I looked, and behold, there was a certain man dressed in linen, whose waist was girded with a belt of pure gold of Uphaz, spelled Uphaz, okay? Verse 6, "His body was also like beryl. His face had an appearance of lightning. His eyes were like flaming torches. His arms and feet like the gleam of polished bronze. And the sound of his words like the sound of a tumult, like many waters or many peoples." As I've already mentioned, Daniel's companions could not stand this glorious apparition and just disappeared. Then the angel began to speak to Daniel, and the part on which I want to focus is verses 12 to 13. Verse 12, "Then he said to me, 'Do not be afraid, Daniel, for from the first day that you set your heart to pray, on understanding this and on humbling yourselves before your God, your words were heard, and I've come in response to your words.'" Verse 12. It's important to see that the first day that Daniel started praying, his prayer was heard, and the angel was dispatched with the answer. However, the angel did not arrive on earth with Daniel for 3 entire weeks or 21 days. What kept that angel 3 weeks on the journey? He was opposed by Satan's angels. Somewhere in the journey from the heaven of God to earth, the angel was required to go through Satan's kingdom in the heavenlies. There he was, opposed by evil angels who tried to prevent him from getting through with a message to Daniel. And verse 13 continues with the following, "But the prince of the kingdom of Persia was withstanding me for 21 days. The angel took 21 days because he had resistance and opposition in the heavenlies. Then behold, Michael, one of the chief princes or archangels, came to help me, for I had been left there with the kings of Persia." That's the angel speaking. All this took place in the heavenly realms. The leader of Satan's angels is called the prince of the kingdom of Persia. Take note. Prince of the king of Persia. The chief ruler over Persia. Related to him, apparently under him, were various kings of lesser angels. Then on God's side, the angel that came to help the original angel was the archangel Michael. In Daniel 12:1, we read this about Michael. "I now at that time, Michael, the great prince who stands guard over the sons of your people, will arise." The phrase great prince we can interpret as archangel. This particular archangel Michael, stands guard over the sons of Daniel's people, the children of Israel. Michael, in some special way, is charged by God with watching over the interests and protecting Israel. Because this whole revelation centered around the future of Israel, it was very much in the interests of Israel that the messenger should get through. So when the first angel was held up, then the archangel Michael came to help him, and they battled there with the satanic angels for 21 days. The satanic angels were represented by one who was known as the Prince of the Kingdom of Persia, the supreme ruler. What do they name the man in Iran? The supreme ruler. Interesting. And under him various kings or subordinate rulers who had various areas of authority. For instance, there might be one king over each major city of the Persian Empire, one over each major ethnic group, perhaps one over also each of the various religious and pagan cults of the Persian Empire. We get a picture of a highly organized, structured kingdom with various areas and descending levels of authority, with headquarters in the heavenlies. That is a kingdom of rebellious, fallen spirit beings. The angel again spoke about this conflict in Daniel 10:20. Number 10, do you understand why I came to you? But I shall now return to fight against the prince of Persia. Who's been firing rockets at Israel? Iran, Persia. In other words, the battle against this evil satanic angel who dominated the empire of Persia was not yet complete. So we see that. There would be further war in the heavens. The angel continued with the following. Verse 20, I'm going forth, and behold, the prince of Greece is about to come. In other words, once victory was gained over the evil angel who ruled the empire of Persia, the next empire that would arise would be the one empire of Greece. And that also would have its own specific evil angel who was the ruler or prince of Greece. In verse 21, the angel who was speaking to Daniel said the following, Yet there is no one who stands firmly with me against these forces except Michael, your prince. So we see again that the archangel Michael is specifically associated with protecting and watching over the interests of God's people, Israel. We also see that it took the angel united strength and the first angel and Michael to overcome the ruling angels in Satan's kingdom who were opposing the outworkings of God's purpose for Israel. You might wonder at the reference to Persia and Greece. Let me remind you that there were 4 major Gentile empires that successively dominated Israel and the city of Jerusalem from about the 5th century BC and onward. They were Babylon, Persia, Greece, Rome. Persia and Greece were significant because at that time they were the 2 dominant Gentile empires. We see from these passages in Daniel that the battle centered around God's people and God's purposes. I believe that this is still true today. Wherever God's people are and God's purposes are being worked out, that is where the spiritual battle will be most intense. In my opinion, in the days in which we now live, the center of the conflict is once again over Israel and the city of Jerusalem. The effect of Daniel's prayers is somewhat staggering. When Daniel started to pray on earth, it set all heaven in motion, both the angels of God and the angels of Satan. That gives us a terrific insight into what prayer can do. I'm also impressed by the fact that God's angels apparently needed the help of Daniel's prayers to get them through and accomplish their mission. Again, that gives us a tremendous insight into the effectiveness of prayer. So don't give up on praying. God bless you. Like the video, subscribe to my channel.